on everything. Every single time I pray. I pray
It's
in
the
the
Venus
morning. I pray before I
Lounge.
go to bed.
All
I even
right. Are
pray
we
when I'm
ready?
sleeping. I pray before I brush my teeth. I pray before I go to the
How's the
cinemas. I
sound?
pray
We
before I
good?
go home. I pray before I pray before I go to school. I pray before I put my pajamas on. I pray
All
before
right.
I eat. I
How's
pray before I
everything?
have my breakfast.
You sound good? All right. I'm going to continue this. Go ahead and take the banner off when you get a chance. Speaking of prayer, I pray that we find forgiveness. I pray that we find freedom in our creativity. I pray that we let go of our ancestral history that has held us back. I pray that we let go of the need to control. I pray that we stay in the moment. I pray that we find creativity. I pray that when we feel the need to control, that we let that go and know that whatever is on the other side of that is pure freedom. I pray that we look at each other with love and compassion. I pray that we dance. I pray that we find sisterhood. I pray that you forgive the person that broke into your car and broke your window and know that you are not that desperate. I pray for their desperation. I pray for compassion. I pray that we know that we have an infinite reservoir of resources for us to pull from for whatever it is that we need, and that whatever is happening for you is happening in your time, in the right time, and that's for you. I pray that we're not jealous of each other. I pray that we're not envious of each other, but we look at each other and say, congratulations. I pray that we say, congratulations, sister. I'm so happy for you. I pray that we can ask each other for help when we need it, and I pray that we receive it. It's the Venus Lounge. Welcome. I'm your host, and I'd like to acknowledge KPFA is turning 74 years. And first of all, just to be around this long, say 3 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades, you're built to last. You've been here 30, 40, 50 years. You made it through the crack epidemic. You made it through the AIDS epidemic. You made it through the coronavirus. You made it through 2 recessions, 1 depression, and you're still here. And so KPFA has been here, a cornerstone in independent radio, providing platforms for artists like me to come on and express myself and be creative. And listen, the way things are going these days, we might fall off the grid. We might go black. But guess what? Radio stations that like KPFA, their radio waves will still be in effect. And if we need information, we know we can always tune in and dial into a radio station. So I need y'all to go and follow KPFA, support listener supported radio, KPFA 94.1 on Facebook and Instagram, and KPFA Radio on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV. I'm your host, Renee Moncada. This is the Venus Lounge, and I'd like to welcome today my 2 guests. This is the theme of this show is Sister Circle, a Queen's Gathering.
And
I like it. I like it. I like it. So I have Heather Beverley here, entertainment attorney and founder of Soul Reciprocity, and also Kerry Fiero, event coordinator, event producer, and also, I guess, founder of the Girl Power Conference. Welcome to the Venus Lounge.
Hey, Renee. We're so happy to be here. Wait a minute, high notes. I didn't know.
We're harmonizing. Thank you for sitting through my intro. How was your week?
It's so much better now.
Oh, look at
it just all changed.
This is my sister. This is we just found out that we have some of the same things, and Heather is also my attorney and negotiating my projects, and I'm so happy. And I met her through Kerry.
Yeah, it all came together.
It all came together. Yep. You are so good at what you do. You are a connector. You are a conduit.
Thank you.
You connect the dots. You bring women together. Like, what is this journey? Why are you so invested in sisterhood?
I love to put shine on somebody else. I don't know. That just that fuels me. And they say you put sunshine on someone else, and then it just blast you with sunshine. So I love it. I love bringing women together. I love putting people in position to do business and make money together.
Yes, indeed.
And I am blessed to be around so many incredible, talented women that can utilize each other's talents.
Yeah. So tell me how you started the Girl Power.
So I started that Girl Power Women Working in the Music Industry Conference. Started it because I was teaching music business at San Francisco State.
Mm-hmm.
And I always would have like 2 women students and like the rest were all male. I was like, God, this is kind of how the industry looks, that there will be so few. And so one student said to me, gosh, it's so great having a female professor talking about the music business because I want to be in the music industry. And she really was the reason why it got started was for the students. I was like, oh, I'm going to bring the amazing, talented women in the industry to speak to these younger women so they can see they're not going to be the only ones, that there are women in all parts of the industry. And so I called Heather and I was like, would you be on my first panel?
First?
So we just had a small panel that was basically for like San Francisco State students and then the greater community if they were interested. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, it was so special to be able to show younger women all these amazing women in the industry. And then, of course, you came on. She came on sneakily first.
Go ahead and say it.
So what had happened was Renee was like, I want to be on a panel. I said, that is a great idea. Next year, we'll definitely get you on a panel. I love everything you do. Next thing I know, she's sitting on my panel. I was like, that day, I was like, did she just bum rush the panel? And so it's the kind of thing where like, you're kind of mad because you took time from the other panelists, but at the same time, you're like, that she's going to be my friend because she's got that kind of hustle and and then, from there it was.
And I have been your friend
ever since.
Yes. I have been your friend.
Yes.
And actually every person, every woman who was at that conference that I connected with ended up being a long-term situation, like a long-term friend. I was able to network, so I appreciate you doing that. And I that's where I met Heather. And so I just remember seeing you going, she was just bopping around the room, girl. Like
she had though. She what I do.
I do. You bop. She was bopping. And I was like, I want to know her. You see women, you'd be like, I want to be in we're in the same tribe.
No, I'm hearing you because when I met her, she was speaking at a conference. I was like, she's about to be my friend.
She's about to be. That's how we are.
But she's running the room. And I am like, who is she? She moves like women. I love how they move.
You see?
I need to know her. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. And I love that because it could be either two ways. You be like, I want to be her friend or I want to know her, or it's the other. Who she thinks she is, what she thinks she doing.
I don't ever really do that.
Yeah.
I say my phrase is souls recognize souls. So it's like
Yeah.
Well, I knew when I saw both of you. And I definitely knew when I saw Heather, I was like, I want to know her. And I reached out to you.
Crazy.
And it's been great ever since. So tell us about Soul Reciprocity, Heather Beverley, entertainment lawyer, bopper.
Well, when I'm not bopping or entertainment lawyering. No. Soul Reciprocity happened to me. It's I call it a purpose project. I am an entertainment lawyer. I'm a little busy. Do that all the time, all day, every day. But there was a point in my life where I kind of had this moment of so much gratitude about so many things in my life that were amazing, but a very cognizant recognition that there was some things missing in some of my most important, key, closest relationships. And I couldn't figure out what that was and why it was leaving me feeling unfulfilled. As I was living in Los Angeles at the time. And I mean, again, I get nervous talking about, I don't have a pity party. So, but a lot of things were really great.
I don't get a sense of
I'm not
pity from
pity
you.
Party girl,
I don't feel that at all.
A lot of things were really great. I had great friends and I had, amazing relationships with my family and I love the work I do. And, but I was having some challenges in a couple of key friendships and in my marriage at the time. And I was just kind of like, what is happening? And it's funny because, as girls, we always are like, I just need to get back in the gym.
Right. We think it's just a physical,
put in some weight.
get your weight, get your hair done.
Just, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's what I need to do. I'm just going to maybe get back to me. And so I don't know if anyone else has done this, but I did. You take that like before picture, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to be intentional.
You want to see the transformation,
getting it back together because that's really what it is.
Yes.
And I took this picture of myself standing in a mirror in my closet. And you got the biker shorts, you got the little
the whole set,
the little
bralette,
sports bra thing on,
yes,
and taking the before picture. Well, I looked at the picture and I was like, okay, yep, she need to get back in that gym,
right?
now.
But you knew what the after was going to look like,
yeah, But more than that, and what became a very transformational moment, I zoomed in on my face. And I looked in my eyes and I did not recognize who that girl was.
Damn.
And it had nothing to do with I'm a little extra fluffy on today.
Or my makeup was off or whatever.
And my hair I was like, so it was a shell of myself. And again, at the time, I think, you get in ruts or you get in a place in some relationships where you want to blame the other person and you want to point fingers. And I was like, I don't know. If I lost so much of me, I probably need to start with me.
That's
there became the journey that I didn't know I was embarking on a journey, but it was a journey to what I now call soul reciprocity. If I had to say it in a nutshell, I basically took on a journey to rediscover myself on a deeper level. Who was I at that moment?
Right.
Did I really know myself deep down, like at the soul level?
Ooh.
Did I know my soul needs? Did I know my soul identity? Did I understand my responsibility in my current circumstances? And as I embarked on a journey that included therapy, it included working out, but it also included things like journaling and meditating and things I had never done before, and hiking in the hills with Barbies in LA and sorting through some things. I started realizing that what I was missing in those key relationships, including my marriage, was something that I now call soul reciprocity, which is this connection that you need to have with the people you keep closest to you, friends, family, even coworkers, significant others for sure. And it's a connection that you need to be able to have with those people. If you call them your besties, if you call them your spouse, your significant other, that allows you to be who you authentically are.
That's right.
And they understand what you need because they too know their authentic self.
That's right.
And it's just, again, when souls connect, there's a thing deeper than, oh, I know you because we went to school together. Oh, we live in the same neighborhood. Oh, we make a certain amount of money. It's not just a common experience.
I know you and I connect with you because things are great and we're vibing and it's fun. Sometimes connection can happen through discomfort. Connection can happen through confrontation. Connection can happen through having a disagreement. And I think a lot of people think that's the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's when you have a true soul connection with someone, you actually know what those moments are about too. And you're able to have grace, even in those moments. Wow. And so the more I knew about myself, the more I got to understand what I needed. I realized how much I didn't have. And the probably the biggest revelation in the process was how much I never allowed myself to have or to ask for.
To ask. So what is that? Can we pause on that for a moment? Let's talk about asking.
No, the reality is I was the girl in friendships, and you guys will probably be able to identify with in my romantic relationships. I was the girl who would show up. And I prided myself on that, especially as a girl.
Like show up, meaning I'm there for you,
I'm
girl.
here. I don't need anything from you. Even in a romantic, I got it. I'm not the girl that's going to ask you for the purse. I don't need you to pay none of my bills. I got you. Let me show you I'm worthy of your love. Let me show you first, because people just expect. Why does everybody expect? Well, you then fast forward in your life when you're I always say your cape gets a little tattered and your leotard has some holes in it and your superhero boots are a little worn.
Yeah.
Where you're like, when do I get back what I put out? Well, I didn't realize how much I wasn't even allowing that energy to come to me because I was so busy feeling unworthy and that I had to show up first, that I never was able to connect with the right kind of people who knew how to sew back into
Right.
I
me.
know what I was thinking, how you were saying that you looked at your face, and what I think you didn't really see was like it had dimmed, your
Yeah.
light had dimmed,
That's
right?
it.
Mhm.
So you had to figure out how am I going to fuel myself again
Mhm.
so my light is bright again.
Yeah.
And I think all women always go through
Mhm.
that
We
all through our
do.
life. You know, we
Mhm.
get our energy taken, or
Mhm.
we allow it to be taken, and like you found that light
And you
again.
never really get back to a core understanding of yourself if what you do in that moment is go, who did this to me?
Yeah.
Right.
And so much to say for what the physical appearance is. 'Cause a lot of
Mhm.
times we can like look fake it till you make it, or if I look the part, then
Mhm.
hopefully I'll fall into the part. And really nowadays, like we are talking about karma and everything, it's the opposite. So if you're not glowing inside, the outside is not going to glow. It just
Right.
doesn't work that way. We are
Yeah.
energetic beings, we're souls, we're spirits. Like
Mhm.
that stuff starts dimming. So when you looked at the picture, even just for you to like zoom in, that was the moment right there. Like, let me
Mhm.
see what's really going on.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You was like, okay,
Where
girl.
is she? Why are the eyes?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so, I think you had asked me a question earlier today. I think I didn't even realize I had said it, that I found myself again. It was a
Yeah.
journey back to myself again. And that's really about the fact that we're all evolving all the time at different points in our lives. We're learning new lessons through our life experiences. We're, understanding ourselves better and the world around us, and we connect to it all differently based on how we walk this walk of life. But there are moments where, in order to really, really understand where you are today, and you might think, oh, I did that. I had a therapist and I completed my therapy and I'm good, girl. Woo, I did Weight Watchers, honey. Now look at me shine. No,
It's
but
a process.
but there's a check-in that we have to do, and people are so afraid to be
check in.
honest at a really deep level. I could have pretended that because there was luxury cars in my driveway, or I lived behind gates, or I had pretty things, or great clients, or all of that stuff. I always tell people what I do as an entertainment lawyer is what I do. It's not who I am. And so to understand, well, what does that mean? Then who are you? Takes a real deep dive into the good, the bad, the ugly, identifying the things you love about yourself, the things you don't like, but you're really never going to change. So you try to figure out how to deal with that. And that work that I did, I call it soul work. That soul work I did that I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time, really, it changed everything. And when I got to the other side of that moment, or that phase of the soul work, some of the decisions I had to make to remove people from their position were the easiest things I ever did.
What do you mean removed from position? You mean having access to you in your life, or like how you had positioned them in your life? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I tell people that soul reciprocity is this destination that you get to after you've done this work. You know who you are. The soul tribe comes to you. So the soul tribe are the people closest to you. So I'm not talking about everybody in your life. I know you guys know a million people. You've got clients, you've got acquaintances, you've got friends, but when you decide, in my daily life, my circle, again, in friendships, in work, even, in my most personal relationships, who's there? Who am I going to put there? Soul reciprocity is a thing you have with those people. You don't have to have it with everyone on the earth.
No,
it's not necessary.
Right. And there's different levels to it.
Exactly. And that's why, to that point, there's position. So I had a couple friends that I wasn't saying, you're not my friend anymore. You go away.
Yeah, you just don't say nothing. You
changing
just
the
smooth,
position.
cold, move out this fade to the background.
Maybe we don't talk as often. Maybe I'm not prioritizing you as much because it's draining. Or, every time I talk to you, it's about what you need. It's never what I need.
Can we talk about draining?
Come on.
Okay, so that's interesting because I hear a lot of like, oh, my energy, you're draining my energy. A lot of times people who are doing that are the ones I'm like, you are the one that's draining everyone. You're the drainer, and you have to have some type of accountability, even for yourself. how am I contributing to this, or am I the one that's perpetrating this?
Mhm.
And a lot of times, because of Instagram memes or little quick quotes, everyone wants to clear their energy and not be around anyone. And the first question is, what are you doing to contribute to that? It all comes back to you.
Mhm.
And if you're not ready to take that inventory, sit down. It's no one else's fault.
Mhm.
Because if you're coming with a certain energy of just like joy or just being on, you're not going to bring that to you.
Yeah.
So
We're a world of sound bites. Everyone wants to give the sound bite. Love yourself first. That's where it begins. And just
what does that
find
mean? Yes, love yourself.
But when you say to someone, find your soul identity, that's a serious challenge.
Yes, it is.
Like, not what you want. What does your heart desire? No. Not what your head tells you is the right thing to do. Not logical.
Right.
There is literally a place in the center of your brain.
Your pineal gland, honey.
Come
Your
on.
third eye. Let's
Come on.
talk about it.
Where it all comes together. But at the end of the day, the rationale of the decisions is a soul decision. And so there's a place in all of us, there's a space deep within where we know the truth, whether we want to admit it or not, whether we want to confront it or not. And most of us can't. It's not easy. I was in the fetal position a whole lot during journaling assignments and dealing with my therapist. I mean, quick little story. I get a therapist. I'm like, I need one, or this is going to be bad. I've never had one in my life, right? I am living in LA, which I'm not native to LA. So I'm like, it's an LA thing. So this should be easy to find. And I get this therapist, and it was this Indian woman, and she was very quiet and she was very calm, almost disturbingly, because as you see, I bop around. So that really extra calm thing, you're like, what?
Did it make you uncomfortable?
It made me a little uncomfortable, but I went in because I was open. And I would go in, and just like on TV or on the movies, I start crying. I'm crying. 2 seconds. And she's just sitting there. And then I'm having this moment of, I don't know if we're a good fit. I'm just talking. You just got me in here talking.
Right.
Like, where's don't you get paid to fix me?
Say
Tell me
something.
something
Right.
I need to know. And so we're about 2 or 3 sessions in. And she says to me, as I was dealing with it was like chaos inside my household. There was a teenager that was in crisis and a lot of drama around that. Again, I was not in a happy place in my marriage, and it was just way too much disruption of my energy.
Oh, right.
So she says to me, and she's like whispering, "Are you a religious person?" So then I pop out my answer. Well, I mean, I'm spiritual and I believe in God, and I'm, yes, and I'm really,
I'm a manifester.
Yeah, I'm all of that. Yeah, okay. And she was like, I just wanted to know. She's like, because I just wanted to know if what I'm about to say to you will resonate. And I was like, okay. And she was like, Heather, you are on assignment.
Yes.
Right now. Now I'm angry. Because really what she's saying is,
she didn't call me
all this chaos.
I'm not paying you to fight.
Want assignment.
Yeah. Oh, right, exactly. You want to fix me.
What's looking like at your house, Indian lady?
Right. So she was like, I was like, no. You're supposed to tell me how to get out of this situation. And you're telling me I'm in it for a reason and I need to stay in it. Not what I came here for. This is not it. I'm paying. I'm writing a check. Yeah. But I had to sit with that for a minute and realize that uncomfortable space when you either have a lesson to learn, an experience to go through, that is a part of your journey, that's a part of your purpose, that's a part of something that you will take away from that will make you stronger, are the hardest things to sit in. And so while I was doing this thing I now call soul work, I was uncomfortable the whole time. It was very uncomfortable.
Can we talk about the courage that it takes to face that, though? Because that really, I mean, even though, you were resisting it, it still takes a certain amount of courage to accept the truth of what your soul is here to do.
And faith.
And
right?
Faith.
Because you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that is driven by faith that it's not always going to be like that.
That's right. It's not, but it feels like it is when it's happening.
Well, you definitely don't. And I
going
appreciate
on?
all of those words, right? But in the moment, literally, it was self-preservation. I didn't have a choice. I was out of
You was in the
answers, and I'm the
corner.
girl that has to
Yeah.
have answers for everybody. That's my job.
Ooh.
And I literally had to just be open to the process, all the way down to when one of my girlfriends was like, "You need to come to my trainer's boot camp." I was like, "All right, just sign me up." Like I just surrendered to whatever came to me that was giving me a solution of something.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna go with it. And that boot camp ended up not being, the fluffy girl boot camp, get up at 6 a.m, get yelled at by, some ex-military guy with a whole bunch of outdoor equipment. It was this like perfect, angelic, blonde Barbie with the most beautiful energy saying, bring your mat, your yoga mat, and your towel and your water and your journal. I was like, what? Journal?
Yeah.
Damn journal.
I just want to say that y'all are watching the Venus Lounge. We were talking about soul reciprocity, what your soul desires, with Heather Beverley, entertainment lawyer and founder of Soul Reciprocity, and Kerry Fiero, founder of Girl Power Inc. Is it Inc?
Girl Power Conference.
Girl Power Conference, and
Mhm.
also a phenomenal event producer. And we're just talking about how, there's this one layer of us that we present to the world in terms of what we do. I'm an event producer. When people ask, like, oh, who are you? Oh, well, I'm a mother, I'm a friend, I'm an event producer, I'm a producer, I'm a director. And those aren't like who you really are. And we're here to really find ourselves. Who are we underneath, behind all of this? What are your values? What are your goals? What makes you tick? Like, how do you get through a crisis? Those things. How do you show up for yourself when things aren't looking all wonderful and great?
Yeah. And how do you find a soul tribe of women like you two who can bring your life balance and fulfillment? Because so often we are all those things.
We need each other.
And then we still find ourselves empty, and we don't know why. And we don't want to admit it because we think we have created this facade, this Instagram life.
Yes.
That says we've arrived, but we don't feel it.
We don't feel it.
And
it's not
about?
enough. For me, if I'm not feeling, it's not enough for me. I can't get by on that. It just, I know my soul is expanding and I'm here for that purpose. I don't know. Maybe it comes with age. What do you guys think? Like, it just gets to a point where it's like, man, that's not really doing anything for me.
I definitely think, just as busy women with family and career and everything, that your time is so precious. Right. So you do want it to be meaningful, and you do want it to speak to your soul, and you do want it to uplift you and enlighten you and inspire you. And, you've been around people that, like, you leave and you're so exhausted. They just drained you so bad. Or you could be around somebody else who you just like, they lit you up.
I
right.
feel that, yeah.
So I feel like that, like what we have right now.
Yeah. When you guys came in, I felt that.
Yeah.
But, and that is like that right there, what she just said. When I was, again, trying to even just figure, I was trying to get to the root of why do I feel unfulfilled somewhat. And
what
I felt
was
guilty
it? What
about
was
it.
that moment? Like, what? I know it's the picture.
No, the picture was the manifestation of what was really happening.
So what
was happening is that I was in a marriage with someone who, even though we got along well, we were, our camaraderie was great, but I was the giver, I was the doer, and there was not this reciprocity, again, at a soul level to this day.
Can I ask you something? Had you, because I know some women like this who, I don't know if it's by design, but do you feel as if you were attracting those certain men to feel safe, or were you like, I thought he was going to be all of these things and he ended up not being that?
Yeah, no, I'm going to tell you now, because I'm telling you, honey, I did the work. I know the roots of all my situations.
So what was it with the marriage?
Well, I'm going to tell you. I had.
You're like, I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to tell you, because I really don't. Even to this day, I don't sit here with I'm just not right. But I understand what got me in that circumstance, which is the root. Which is when I was very young. My mother was a single mother. But there was a point where she was dating somebody who I ended up being the person that found out that person was not being faithful.
So
in that moment, as a 17-year-old girl, and in my mother's pain, I made some very interesting decisions that I didn't realize carried for a long time.
Oh,
Number one,
yeah,
I
honey.
said,
Mothers will carry.
because there was a dependency there. And look, at a 17-year-old's view of something, and why she may make amends and all of those things. My view is, that's a moment of weakness. You're not a strong woman.
Right.
What I'm gonna be. Now I
It's
don't.
not
All
that.
I know is,
Right.
I don't know. And my mom is so private, so saying anything like she just loses her everything. But anyway, for all I know, she did it first. You know what I mean? I don't know the circumstances. I'm being silly, but I don't know the circumstances, right? But
She probably did do it first.
From my viewpoint, it changed so much about who I decided I wanted to be as a grown woman. So I said I will always be someone who can, if a circumstance is where I feel I've been done wrong in any way, I'm gonna be okay.
I could just
I'm gonna be independent. I'm going to be,
yeah.
I'm gonna. And so I created this quest to be a superwoman and an independent woman and a no matter what, insulate myself, protect myself person. That, to your point, yeah.
So when you're like that, do you think you
like,
attract a certain type of man?
I felt better in a position where I felt maybe I was, I don't want to say superior, but more controlling.
No, because it seems like that's the type of man that's going to come around. It's not going to be the alpha male. Yeah, it's not going to be the one that's like, I'm like, no, I'm going to check you. You know what I'm saying?
I could never figure that out. I would always tell people, nobody ever asks me out. Nobody buys me drinks.
Because you buying all the drinks.
And let me tell you something.
Men would be like, why does she need me?
And the king in my life tells me now,
sit your ass down.
Do you know if I come into a bar or something, you're sitting there with some girlfriends, you're the last one. I'm going because you're already going to be drinking something I probably can't buy you or don't know what it is anyway, or you are projecting an energy that's
a lot of responsibility too on us women too. So I feel like that's a slippery slope because you do want to be independent.
Absolutely,
you do want to feel like I can contribute some, or I can take care of myself. But it's a balance where it's like also, if I'm going to be in a relationship with someone, I also want him to feel like he can do that for me and I can be soft about it too.
Yeah. No, I got to a point, and you asked earlier, like, is it age? I don't know if it's age so much as it's the journey and the wisdom that you take from the moments. Because I know a lot of older women who are still bitter and angry and not trying to look at themselves and not seeing what they contribute to their condition and are lonely and say they like it that way and can't keep friendships and can't keep
that part
falling out with they 65 falling out with girlfriends and being messy.
Can we talk about that too?
Age? Yeah, please do.
About women that don't keep a lot of friends. Anybody?
I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know them.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw your mic on the ground. That is such a mic drop.
I don't know them.
I don't know them.
I like women that like women.
Yeah.
Oh, Carrie. Yes.
I like women that say, I see you.
I see you. And I'm going to be here for you, girl. And if not,
and
what are you wearing? What do you, yes.
No. I'm a cheerleader.
Cheering.
I'm like, what's your colors?
I'm gonna get that I don't get that. I've never been the type, and outside of like you trying to hit on my man or whatever, like it's going down and I ain't feeling that, like I'm gonna beat you.
Right.
But if you're another woman that's like bad, I'm like, yes. How you doing?
Yes.
Salute you.
Yes.
I don't get threatened by women who are doing things.
Right.
I feel like,
I feel like I'm fine by association. I'm smart by association.
Game
birds of a feather fly together.
You get what I'm saying? Like I never understood that. So when I see that happen, when I've seen that happen, because I think sometimes when I've seen that happen, I kind of go in denial and maybe overcompensate, like, oh, let me do this. Let me try and make her feel comfortable.
Well, it's a little heartbreaking if you're not that woman.
And I wanted that. Like that has happened to me. And I'm thinking we're going to show up, we're doing this. And then little things start coming out. And a lot of times it happens when another man is around or there's a situation where it feels like it's competition. And I'm like, girl, no, we're, we can do this. You know what I mean? Like, so I love that you say that. And
but it's what she said that again helped me really. It amplified the fact that I didn't have fulfillment in a couple. And again, I don't want to just focus on like in my marriage because I also had some girlfriend relationships where I was like, they had long, that whole, you've been my best friend since the third grade kind of, so you're just supposed to be forever. But then again, like you said, that person starts to train, you're just
Start
on
tripping.
you're on a different frequency.
Yeah.
So what actually amplified everything for me and made me really take a pause, I would be with Kerry, have a conversation, leave that conversation inspired, feeling
Right.
uplifted,
Yes.
excited for the things that she's doing.
Yes.
The
And
moments
sincerity,
as a
you
mother,
come
the
with, I'm
moments
just
as a
speaking to her, you
wife.
come with so much sincerity
Yeah.
when you approach situation, when you're trying to connect other women. I really feel that. I appreciate that's a true gift.
Yeah, no, and
you.
as
Continue.
a friend, you know, when we found each other and became friends, it was like finding the Siamese twin that you were separated at birth, because like she's the girl that sends you the card in the mail with the stickers, and every card is on point. Now, mind you, I'm the girl. I'm the handwritten note.
Yes.
I'm the text to say, I just want you to know,
Thank you.
I haven't talked to you in a
Yeah.
minute. You are amazing, and I love you, and you are beautiful, and you are all of these things.
Yes.
Right. And so we were kind of like, wait, but I'm the one. I'm the friend.
Right.
That
I'm supposed to be
does
doing all that.
I'm
Yeah.
the arts and crafts Martha Stewart friend. I'm that no
Right.
one sees coming because we're business women, right? And so the way she would love on me, would be, I think, the way I love on people, but that I had never experienced in the way she does it. I have some other girlfriends that I would just be like, so smart. I have a girlfriend, she's an entertainment lawyer. She has an autistic son who didn't speak till he was 5. She, in the midst of raising that son to be a young man in private school, and now about to graduate in May and go to high school, she's running an entertainment law firm. She decides, I'm going to be an agent, sports agent. She goes and gets licensed as a NFL, NBA, WNBA
Shout
sports
out
agent.
to Tabitha Plummer.
Come on, Tab.
Okay, I was
Right?
gonna say,
And I'm going, she's a wife. She's the mom after
Doing
coming
it.
home from the office, is now sitting down doing the baby's project. I am
Yeah.
like, you are a superhero of superheroes.
She is.
I have a cousin who's, was a single mother of 2 young boys who were dealing with all kinds. She's flashcard mom while building an empire. Like, I just had these women that I'd be like, what is it that you can be in the room with one person, and even when you leave, you still feel a part of them with you.
That's the feminine power.
And it's
feminine
elevating
power.
That's
you.
that feminine power.
And it's so special. My mom is like a unicorn. She is pixie dust, rainbows,
pixie
pots
dust.
of gold, unicorn. She is all things Tinkerbell. Here you go. She's warm and fuzzy and loving and light. And why is it that I could have that with her, but then some other family members be like,
Womp womp.
oh, I have to get together,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what is that? Certain clients have clients like you that I am like, girl, I will do an all-nighter. I know. I just had the worst quarter of my life, but I'm gonna figure this out. I will
and
all
you know
night,
what? I'm
behind.
Yeah, but beep, and you did, and I knew you were coming through. And actually, I wanted to be understanding of that. Like when I was like, it's gonna get done when it gets done.
And I'm like, you can't fail her. You can't drop no balls dropped on this watch.
I didn't feel that because Heather is helping me with a couple of deals, and she gets it right. But it's something in between, because women, we do things differently. We do business differently. And women of color, we do business differently too. I think just in terms of like how we communicate what's going on. I feel like we're more transparent about it in terms of like the corporate world. And so I want to be like, yes, that's okay. Get it to me when you can. I wasn't even
tomorrow when you can.
But let me know when you can.
Deadlines are hard deadlines.
But then I said, like, let me know realistically what is a good day for you, and then let's make that happen. I let you, I offered that to you to tell me. I was like, girl, I need this contract done by Friday because I got a big deal online, and I need my relationship with her and how we were working was more important than the deal. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I'm looking long term, looking at the long game. and also looking at her as a woman, like we're working together, we're going to make it happen no matter what. So I'm more about how this relationship is going to work, as opposed to me getting this deal to these people and fronting to them like, yeah, my attorney's going to be back, so I'm just
Well, and see, but that's a moment, and that's like a perfect example when I tell people you can have soul reciprocity in business.
yes,
Because I can tell you, I have dealt with one of the
Mhm.
craziest quarters of my life, of personal, like life or death, people dying, people in hospitals, me working from like hospital waiting rooms, ICU, like on some whole life is really happening. But I value and understand how important my clients' needs are. So I'm going to do everything I can. But then there's a reality, there's bandwidth. So you're right.
and that's
I will
okay.
have that
Yeah.
transparency and feel safe.
But I felt that.
But feel safe enough, not as an excuse, not my dog ate my homework.
No, I
but like,
didn't feel that.
But still will go to the ends of the earth just because you gave me grace to make sure I deliver. It might be 8:00 Eastern that day.
It's okay.
It's
I
gonna be
know
tomorrow. It's gonna be 8 Eastern.
And just the fact that you took me on, because she also told me she wasn't taking on any more clients. She was just like, I'm at capacity, but she goes, but I'm I like what you're doing. We
Please come on, girl. I'm starting my own production company, and I've done this for everybody else, and now I'm doing it for me. That's my mantra. That's what I built mine on.
Right.
But again, it's that, right? I have fired clients
Yes.
because, and it sounds weird because as a attorney, I work for you, but there is still reciprocity. I expect the things that you give me, what I need to do my job for you.
Yeah.
But I also, just as a human, I will do anything to make sure you're good.
Can we
That
talk
doesn't
about
mean you
grace
have to the
then?
same
That's
way,
grace. This is
but
grace.
Yeah.
where is the grace?
And a
or where
healthy
is
relationship.
A healthy relationship. And that's what I was saying about the Venus Lounge. We're here, a podcast dedicated to working women and mothers who, we're balancing our lives and our career and our creativity, but we're also sitting in fellowship with other women and supporting each other through that. To me, that's primary. It doesn't matter what the other stuff is. Like, are we vibing? Am I supporting you? Are you supporting me? Like, how are we navigating through this? That's to me like the strongest networking village that you can have. And once we get back to that, like, the world would just be so much just a better place if women just like band together and just like really
Absolutely.
use our superpowers and get
Oh,
things
you know
done.
what I watched yesterday?
what?
I watched Black Woman is God video.
Oh, did you?
Again?
Oh, God.
Because that video.
Talia Taylor's on. Hi, Talia. She was
my
in that.
gosh.
She was in that.
No, I know Talia was on that.
Yes.
Because like that's my like secret, like I just need to get pumped up right now. I'm serious. And like I'm not a Black woman and I get pumped up.
Yes, you are.
I'm like, yes, Talia.
No, she.
Yes, you are. It's not
Carrie
even
and my
about
mother.
Black.
No.
We're getting back to
But
the
can we
soul.
shout out all those women, please?
Yes.
Like Cheyenne G,
Oh my
Ryan
God.
Nicole,
Mad
Mad Lines.
Lines, Coco Pela, and
See,
Talia Taylor.
See, I knew
And
them all.
then Karen Seneferu, who was the producer and gave us the
Oh my
platform.
God.
That video, that time.
That video is you did such an amazing job.
That it was like, when you talk about being in the power, that whole situation came on the heels of just what we were talking about. I was in a situation with some friends. We were at a party and it was all women. One man was there, was one of my friends' boyfriends, and he hated the fact that it was all these women. We were fellowshipping, we were building, we were bonding, we were powerful, and it was a threat to him. And for some reason he focused on me that night. And I and my friend, and I stood up for my friend to him, me, a woman. I'm like, what are you doing? And we were going like this, and it just was heartbreaking to me that everyone around that table, no other women said anything on my behalf. They let this fool go off of me. He threatened me. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was protecting my friend, who was his girlfriend. He was physically basically threatening her, and then threatening me physically. And so that night I was just like, wow, we talk about sisterhood and all this, and no one came for my back. And so I left, and I was in the car, and they were all there still around him, like, oh, it's okay, da da da. Nobody called me to say. And so I went home and I was like, damn, like, none of my homegirls like stood up for me. Like they were all just,
Mm.
and so this
That's
project,
your rebuttal. That video is your rebuttal.
yes,
I
Oh,
love that.
even better.
yes,
Even better.
yes.
Yeah,
And
I
so when
love
these women
that.
came in, all powerful, all feminine, and all of them
Yes.
were just had their own creativity, I was like,
yes,
this is, and then Karen, Senator Farrell from the Black Woman is God came, we prayed in here, and she
Mm.
wrapped something around my head, and like it was a whole, and I, from that moment on, I felt so empowered, and I've been on a quest to keep feeling that feeling.
Well,
Mhm.
look what you did that, and I'm telling you, I look at that video when I need to get pumped up.
Yeah. It
Energy, that's what I'm
It is.
saying.
It's that,
And
that
then all of
feminine
the women
energy.
came in and did the same. Ryan came in with her
Yes.
verse, killed
Yes.
it.
Killed-
Mad Lions came in,
Yep,
killed it.
it.
And, and the one thing that I love about it, and don't get me wrong, I love sexuality, I love our body parts, but they didn't have to rely on any of that. They just came with their lyrics, with their talent, and in their femininity, beauty. Like it was still
real
in.
strength.
Oh
Yes.
man, it was
Yes.
my it was one of the best projects
Yes,
I've
well, I
ever
wanted
done.
to give you your props.
Thank
'cause
you.
That
I
was a
love that.
beautiful video.
That was the rebuttal.
I love it.
Mm.
Boom!
That
Don't
was
mess with
right.
Renee. She will get some media on you.
Okay. Tell me about it, because I know how powerful it is. That's why we have this platform. Talia
Mhm.
says, curious to know how you all sustain community with women amidst disagreements. Great
Mm.
question.
I think out of respect for women, you could disagree. If you have respect for yourself and others, you can always disagree. There's nothing wrong about
right,
that.
right. Respect is the key word.
Yeah.
So you have your opinion, I have my opinion.
But it's not, it doesn't go to like my core of like,
Do
I
you-
don't have any like feelings like I hate you or, you know.
But I feel like sometimes we're in that climate where if you just tell
Mm.
someone your opinion or you disagree about what they're saying, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm cutting you off.
Mm.
And I feel like a lot of that has to do with social media, because
I feel like if they cut you off, it's about them. It's not about you. I feel like you should, the best thing you can give to people is authenticity.
Yes.
And so if you're giving your opinion and it may be somebody disagrees, but you gave your authenticity, you didn't do
Yes.
anything wrong.
Right.
You know, so we
It's
can
not like you
always disagree.
right.
Like,
And sometimes I'll be like, I'll take what resonates and then
Mhm.
I'll toss out the rest. I don't feel like it's a personal attack.
yeah.
It's
But
not always a
that's- you
personal
just- But
attack.
that's the issue. In a disagreement, if you're actually listening.
Let's hear from the attorney.
No, right. Wait, as King says, you're lawyering me. No, I'm
Go ahead.
not.
No, in a disagreement, go
In a
ahead.
disagreement, the first thing that happens is you have said your piece, right?
Yes.
When the other person starts to speak, if you actually listen and don't deflect and decide there's nothing else to be said but my piece, you now actually have to challenge your position. Turn that mirror.
Mm-hmm.
People can't do that. They don't.
It is
it's
hard.
uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So if I'm going to truly
But it
hear
should feel
why you're
empowering.
saying what you're saying, because you're like you said, I do what you do. I'm going to hear you. I still might disagree,
Mhm.
but I don't have a problem going, do I?
Right.
Was there
Doing
something in that?
Exactly. A little inventory check
do I
there.
need
Was she
to-
right?
Like,
Wait a minute, was she
I
right?
I didn't realize that's
Because
what
if
you
I get
meant.
mad, you probably was right.
Exactly. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, and also I think about the question, it's a great question, but what is that disagreement about? Is that that's where it kind of came.
Right. Because we just talking about
we're just
something surfacey.
Politics, or
Yeah.
it's just our opinion on something
Yeah.
irrelevant.
Mhm.
But I guess sometimes disagreements are at a deeper level.
Yes.
But to both of your points,
Mhm.
so what if someone has a different opinion?
So
what
what
if
if
someone
somebody-
is challenging
So
you?
what
like,
you were saying earlier about reciprocity, about like you're moving people around, right? So my husband and I always talk about your people, are in this theater, and like that front row, those are your people.
Ooh, the
That is
front
your
row.
tribe,
That's a
right?
soul tribe.
But
Yeah.
people, like say you come with disagreements, sometimes they got to move a few rows back. And sometimes they got to move. and
I like that
sometimes-
metaphor. Y'all up here on the balcony. Go ahead.
No,
row
and
F, row 29.
Right. And sometimes when it gets really bad, you have to ask them to wait in the lobby.
Ooh.
Right? Because you're not,
just
and
wanna
sometimes
throw
like,
a mic.
no,
I
and
don't
like
wanna
you,
interrupt the podcast.
but after, like you were saying, and sometimes they got to leave the theater because
Yes.
it just wasn't healthy. Right?
Okay.
So like with the disagreements, sometimes
I love
depending on the
that.
depth of what we're talking about, the disagreement is about, sometimes they just you have to shuffle the deck. So the healthy
Mhm.
people are the closest in the theater
That's
to you.
right.
Yeah. And how do you
Yeah.
fight? Like, how do people fight? People don't all
Mm.
fight the same.
Same.
I'm terrible.
People get
yeah.
really, some people, the ones that get really personal, and then
don't
they'll go
fight
to the
well.
thing that you weren't even talking about. Because
Oh,
then there
they'll
was
go
that
back.
one time.
They'll go back. Yeah, way
you're
back
like,
on some other
"Wait, what
stuff
just
to deflect.
happened?"
But what about just now today?
Yeah, just now where we're.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before that everything was
And
cool.
then they reveal like what they've really been
Oh, that's
harboring for a long
painful.
time, and now it's
Yeah.
ugly. Like, so I get the question. It's a great question, but at the end of the day, you know, the low blows, the out of
Oh
bounds,
no, we
the
can't do
let
low
me hurt you
blows
from some stuff I've been carrying.
Yeah, we can't do that. We
Again,
don't hit below the belly.
Like, there's only so much of that you're gonna take in a
Yeah.
relationship close to you. And
Yeah.
again,
yeah,
there's gonna be
because you
people
can
like
you can
that.
feel when someone truly loves you and wants to communicate with you. I'm a
Mhm.
communicator, so I'm the type like if
Mhm.
something bothered me, I'm gonna say something because I
Mhm.
not because I'm looking to wedge. I'm looking for closeness. I'm looking for
Yeah.
vulnerability.
That's because you're authentic.
Yeah, I want to know, like, hey, I'm telling
Yeah.
you this because I care about our
Absolutely.
relationship and I want to
Mhm.
see you again.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure when I see you that I'm not bringing that ear. And if you tell me the way I said it was this, that I'm going to take
Mhm.
that in consideration too.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type to just act
Mhm.
like everything is gravy and great because then I feel like my relationships have to have depth. They have to have
Yes.
meaning. They need to feel like
Mhm.
real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like that is necessarily happening if everything is always gravy.
Mhm.
Right.
And look, again,
Surface.
this soul reciprocity thing, and I hated that I was 50 before I understood what
Why?
it was to be.
Why are you hating you were 50?
No, not that I love that I'm 50.
Because I was gonna say
But
you
I'm
look
saying
like
it
at
was-
50
I
you
was
still be
mad
getting it.
that it took-
She be getting it. You
I
be
was
getting
mad
it, huh?
that it took.
You be getting it.
Come on now. I was mad that it took until 50 to understand or feel what
Mm.
balance and reciprocal relationships, reciprocal love, respect, adoration feels like. So, for example, my current king
Yes.
is one who, if we have a disagreement,
Mm-hmm.
now he gonna go for his. I'm gonna go for mine because we are communicators. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be the
all
whole
right.
rollout of
That
the
house is off the
position.
hook, huh?
However, I've never in my life ever had a significant other who then will actually do some introspection and can come back
See, that's
and
a
say,
man.
so
That's
I
a
was
grown
thinking
man
about
for you.
this. And this, now that I have thought it through, I feel this way, this one. Now, I still meant this part now, right here. But I see what you were saying, right? And the level of communication, we have enough respect for each other that, because sometimes in a disagreement, it's not the moment. It's all
No, it's not the moment. I'm already
But are
already
you
saying
gonna
what
be
I was
mad and now you're not gonna?
No, I gotta get out the mat. I got like, don't
Like-
even try and talk to me when it's like I'm up here, like no, no, I'm firing. But then after everything's calmed down, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, you know what, I'm really sorry.
And I can do the same. And so,
but
in the
don't
right-
try and get me to apologize
in
when
the-
I'm firing
in
the gun.
thing, because you got to get that part. You got to get the position out, right?
Right. I gotta
You
state
know,
my case,
and you know I do.
and I need.
So
You're not gonna win this one.
You know, I got to cross.
I don't even think I would argue.
I
It's a
know.
little
That's why I
bit
just
of-
started thinking like I would not be your significant
Section
other.
2,
You
3.0,
would. You would be
according
breaking
to
it down to
would.
me, and I would just
You
be
know.
like, I lost the
Oh my
case.
God, you be breaking it. I forget what the case would be about.
Right.
She'll probably be talking.
I'm like,
in
you're
circles.
right, you're right, you're right.
But I do it with love.
Of course,
yeah.
and,
Of
and
course.
and like Talia said, anchoring it in respect.
Oh, I like that. Yes,
Exactly. But I will also be the first one to be like, "Ooh, I so forgot. I forgot I said that, or I forgot that's what you." Yeah, my bad.
So you really forget, or you just was saying?
No, I do.
Okay, 'cause you just be like,
yeah, I don't
on
remember
10.
5 minutes ago, honey.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't hear nothing, and I don't remember. So, and I'll be the first to admit it. So, no, I will always admit, like, my bad. Okay,
My bad,
white
my
flag.
bad.
The argument sounded good though, didn't it?
Okay, let's hear.
Did it sound like it? Like I knew what I
Lonnie
was talking about?
King says,
My
long
sister
question.
wife.
As a strong, hardworking woman, do you know when to stop and rest to take care of yourself? I feel like soul reciprocity has to begin with your relationship with yourself. Do you find it harder to take care of yourself than taking care of others? Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, as a mom,
that's one of my founding members of my soul tribe.
oh,
as
hey,
well.
Soul Tribe, Lonnie King. Yes, I find as a mother, yes.
yes.
Well, that's the whole point. Is that
And mothering.
But if you don't, again, if you don't know who you really are, you don't know what you really need. How could you?
I feel
And
like
so how do you know how
it's
to
hard
take
for
care
me
of
to
yourself?
ask. I feel like it's hard for me to ask, and I'm still trying to figure out why. Like moms always talk about what they're not gonna do and then do it, and that's
Yeah.
me. Like I am about to go do this. Cook what you want.
I know exactly.
I don't have no money for nothing. No, I'm not getting. How much is it?
Right.
Like, I just
That is
so I'm just and then
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
All
and
day,
it's like
every
it's so
day.
is it guilt ridden? Like what is
Yes.
this? My responsibility or like I have to get mad to get what I want? And I
But
don't want to be
she's
that way.
saying, like, don't you have like you'll have 50 things on the to-do list, but you're never on it?
No,
But that's so
yeah.
like what she's saying is like that has to be such a conscientious decision. Like, let me do some self-care for me so I can do all these other 25 things.
Yeah, but if you are projecting, if you have convinced yourself, I am Superwoman, I am all these things because I have to be, right? Then when do you take the time to decide or really look at, but what do you really need? You don't know. Because again, you're not in tune with who you really are. I didn't think I needed a man to lead. I didn't think I needed my friends to show up for me. Like, well, I don't need that. I didn't think I needed clients to have a heart from time to time. I just felt like I have a job to do.
No,
So
you can't.
I
You don't
never
have to do it.
by not even taking the time to really go hard and go, no, girl, you are Superwoman. But you're the most sensitive.
You are
like more crying at the
That's
news.
okay too.
The most, but not
power
giving
and
myself
vulnerability.
permission
Yeah.
to acknowledge that meant I didn't know how to sew into it.
Yes. Yes.
So now that I know what I need, I know I need a massage every now and then.
I need these feet
I
rubbed.
need a bubble
Okay, we got
bath.
like 1 minute left. I want y'all to tell me what you got going. When's your book coming out, and when is the next Girl Power Conference?
Okay, so the Girl Power Conference is we're redoing it right now. We're going to make it out beyond the music industry and go into both TV, film, and like the greater umbrella
media.
Because women are doing so many things.
Yes,
so
I love
it was
that.
time for it to like grow into a bigger umbrella. So and the next thing I have coming up is February 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay.
Days with Zara.
Days with Zara.
Getaway.
Yes.
Now, what did I say?
February.
Ooh,
Well,
May.
I was like, why
Days
are we
with
until
Zara.
February?
Okay, see, that's why you're my
May,
soul
I
tribe.
got you. Yes.
May 5th, 6th, and 7th
May 5th, 6th, and 7th.
in Napa at the Meritage. We are having an incredible weekend of culinary classes, wine, and so much music.
We might have to get out there and film a little of that for the Venus Lounge.
Yes,
we got
and food.
Music, Soul Child after 7. Dougie
Nice.
Fresh
That
is the
sounds nice.
MC.
In Napa, right?
In Napa. In Napa. So go to dwzgetaway.com to get more information. So much. It's going to be an incredible weekend. So
I
that's
love
what's
that.
next.
All right, Sarah, go ahead, girl. I've been knowing Sarah for a long time.
Oh, nice.
And what about
amazing.
you, Soul Reciprocity?
So the book is in the editor's hands.
Nice.
And I am looking for I'm going for my birthday.
Okay.
Which is August.
Leo, yes.
So at least an August finish date and pre-release. And you can keep following us at Soul Reciprocity, everything at Soul Reciprocity on IG, on Twitter, on Facebook, or Heather Beverley ESQ for just general information. So
Everything.
it's coming. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening. Y'all check the credits. We'll make sure that we upload everything to the post show. And I thank y'all for watching. Money is fake. People are real. Find your tribe, your sisterhood, and sit with them. And come sit with us on the Venus Lounge. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I
Renee.
appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank
we
you
love
so
you
much.
back. The Venus Lounge is lit.
The Venus Lounge is lit. Cheers. Toast.
Cheers.
Toast.